No, not to be TMI though, but won locals. I came back. The wife and I had relations, but it is our last relations for a while because we're gonna start trying for a kid,
Oh,
and so we gotta take a little break while things start cooking.
do you? I feel like you don't have to, right? Like,
Well, you you have to use like condoms. You can't for like a week, and then you have to use like condoms.
well, no, wait, no, wait a minute, I'm confused. If you're, isn't it you just gotta like when she's ovulating? Like, I might sound stupid, bro. Be like, what do men know about women? But like, isn't it like when she's ovulating, it just increases the chances? Isn't that when you're supposed to
Oh yeah, no, no,
base
no.
the
So
turkey?
sorry, I guess I'm. There's a couple prerequisite steps here. I haven't. She's been on the pill for like a decade now, and
Oh,
so
okay, okay, that definitely like changes things, right? Okay.
she has to like go off it, and then like she has to wait to get a period, and then we have to like you have to give it a little bit of time to cook too, because like the pill changes all your hormonal structure and
Mm-hmm.
shit. No, it's crazy. She is really gonna go through hell for this because she's on like a headache medicine, and she's on takes a sleeping aid, and she has to go off all that shit. Thankfully, she doesn't have to go off Adderall. The kid can have Adderall, so it's gonna
Oh.
come out like really focused.
Yeah, just
The
pull it
kid's
off.
gonna be crazy at Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, just pull it off like
Day
full
one.
power synchron combos right out the womb.
Yeah.
No, I get it. No, I mean that is gonna be rough though. I know like even just being on like birth control and stuff like that, like getting off that affects like your hormones and everything too. And I know that's gonna be like hell trying to get used to and stuff. But that's really exciting, man. That's really awesome. Are you
Yeah,
excited to
it
be a
is
father?
exciting. I am very excited. I fucking another benchmark Farfa beat me to as well. I couldn't get him at 200K subs, and now I'm gonna, but
Always one step
yeah, no,
behind.
it's gonna be nice. I think I'm super excited. I've been practicing jokes and shit.
Well, let's just watch the
Oh
first few
man,
seconds of this. Let's.
We're here with Patrick Hoban. He got top
Oh my
16
God,
at
what a
Energy Detroit.
blast from
You
the
wanna show us what
past.
you were playing?
blast from my ass.
I guess we'll save that for last. Played.
Yeah.
Oh wait, he's playing on Pax Mat. Wait, is this where Pac got it?
Turtle. 3 Ariana.
The Draco Pals. Oh my God, what a miserable
I know
format.
some people play too. But
I
this
can't
is the one
imagine
you
even
wanna draw.
playing
You don't
Yu-Gi-Oh
wanna
for a
draw
second
this
in
paps,
this
you wanna draw the
format.
injury.
Dude,
Dude,
YCS.
It was not a
This
good
is what
time, bro. This is not a good time. I don't know. Maybe we'll
Oh,
never
yeah.
tell. But yeah, YouTube, man, all the old school stuff. You remember the deck profile meta? Like, you remember,
Yeah.
you were around for people like Vexicus, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that rings a bell. And like
Oh, yeah.
John when he was in his deck profile era too. John
It's
Moore's
crazy.
a fossil. That guy's part of history. He's
He
crazy.
is. It is crazy. People like MCole40 are still doing it. Like nothing ever changed. They're like, hey, we got this deck list. Wow, wow. Let's go to Dueling Book.
One thing that
And-
I don't see anymore though is like I think of like Team Samurai. Remember when Team Sam the joke was every ban list that came out, he would release the same deck profile for
It
every
would be like
list.
updated Blue Eyes White Dragon.
And nothing would
March
change.
2024.
Nothing would
Yeah.
change. So it'd be updated Blue Eyes and Dark Magician. And for a while that was his meta is he would film a shit ton of fucking deck profiles and they were just all like rehashes of popular decks that people would look up.
I gotta figure out what is making Team Sam tick right now. Is like in the past I was always like, oh, Team Sam will make a video that's like Blue Eyes, Red Eyes, Green Eyes, White Dragon, and it'll get 9 million views, and it's like that's how he gets all his subs, right? Like if you look at his shit now, his videos are doing about the same as any other Yugi tuber, and it's like, but he's still getting like 15K a month in terms of subs, and I'm like, man, he just has it on lock.
He does. He's always had that sort of edge. Like he just knows something that
He's
everybody else doesn't.
an algorithmic genius.
Yeah. Also, I feel like a lot of the changes he's been doing have been for like the better. Like his thumbnails, all like are really, really good. They're eye catching and stuff like that. It seems to be his most viewed stuff is masterduel now.
Oh
Which-
yeah, for
does that
sure.
seem to track for you and stuff too? Like, does your do you don't do much on paper anymore? Does your paper Yu-Gi-Oh stuff do good?
You know, it's kind of strange. I wouldn't like. It depends on what you qualify as paper. Like I do mostly still TCG content, and it's still doing fine. But like, not a lot of me like using the actual physical cards. No.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think a lot of people are doing that anymore. You tend to do just like a lot of discussion stuff and everything. Your new thumbnail guy's been putting in work too. I've noticed.
My new thumbnail. It's Swolax. You know
Is it
Swolax.
Swole? I didn't know Swolax was doing your
It is
shit
Swole,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, no, he's very talented.
No,
He does a
I'm
great
sorry.
job.
I hate to do this. I literally, after I saw your what is it? The fight stick one. I was like, oh yeah, I gotta get Swolax
No,
if I'm gonna change it.
yeah, he's the goat, man. He's honestly really good.
No, he's real good. I did have to be like, hey, though, I want these to be recognizable as like MBT thumbs and not like gauge thumbs.
Yeah, I get that.
Oh no, what was it? I changed this Blue Eyes one. I had it as something more normal, and it just was not taking, and it's still not taking.
The history of Blue Eyes. Where's that one out here?
Yeah, this was one that we knew was going to be like a slow burn. And we were like, at some point in the next like 6 months, it'll just catch in the algo. And it hasn't yet, and it's just like, ugh, I hate waiting on these fucking evergreen videos that kill me.
Do you think it'll ever hit that algorithm?
Yeah, for
spike
sure.
again? Have you had a video like that recently that's done something like that?
I don't know.
I feel like sometimes it's really actually the one that's like most unexpected to like.
Oh, this
outlast.
why do bad Yu-Gi-Oh cards existed actually? It premiered at like 40K, and then like a month later it was like, oh, and now everyone's watching this and talking about it for some reason.
That thumbnail's sick. That's a good thumbnail.
No, yeah, YouTube is just so different now. I mean, I've talked about this at length with you, but like I felt like a lot of the reason that I got into Yu-Gi-Oh YouTube is that I was like, oh, these guys are fucking garbage. I was like, you give me a Windows Movie Maker and I could be king of this shit in a couple of weeks.
Oh my god, early like Yu-Gi-Oh YouTube was definitely like that. Like some of the people that just did it felt like they were still doing the same thing when they started. Like Robbie still does the same thing that he's done since he started. But
No,
like it's definitely gone through eras.
For me, the wake up call was Rada. When Rada started making Rada's first videos, it was like on the shittiest mic you've ever heard, and they were basically just talking over the text of cards. They were just reading cards out loud. And everyone on Reddit was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen on Yu-Gi-Oh! YouTube. And unfortunately, I was like, that's correct. Like, that is the greatest thing I've ever seen on Yu-Gi-Oh! YouTube.
I've had this like opinion of Rada for like years now. And
oh, here we go.
And it's the you already know. It's just gonna be I don't get it.
Jealous ass bitch.
I guess I'm jealous, but I don't get it, bro. It's literally like what you said. This feels like DZeef if he never started doing something different. Like you remember when Doug did like the slideshow videos where he'd have a card up on screen
for like 5
and
years.
He would just talk for 10 minutes. And I felt like Rada is still in that mode. And there's no reason to like fix what isn't broken, right? But it's just been something that I don't get. I've never been into his stuff.
Rada is such an incredible individual. I love it. I know just based on like how he posts and tweets that he has like a font of creativity and ideas, but like there's only so much you can do when you've carved your niche this effectively. So like he will spend like weeks on Twitter like belaboring like Reddit style mannerisms in like the content he consumes, and then he'll be like, all right, time to upload this video. Volcanic is more like volcanic because these new cards make me want to gouge out my duty eyeballs. It's like, okay, I got it.
A million views, bro.
Thank God. The other thing that I love about Rada is that he uploads like once a week at this point, and like a third of the comments are always like, "Wow, he's back." And it's like, yeah, dude, he's been back for 3.5 years.
That's true. That's true. Has he been uploading more frequently? Actually, let's find that out.
Some would say he never left. No, I won't deny that Rada is a huge personal inspiration, but I always thought it was strange that he's like was completely okay with being like, yeah, this is just how I make my videos. Yeah, and like the improvement in the videos is going to be like the thumbs are going to look slicker. The background effects while the card is on screen is going to look better. And that's it. Although I will say Pathetic Aesthetic is so interesting because I don't know if you watch these. Every time I see them, I'm like, God, this guy really is like a smart, interesting guy with a lot to say, as is Jimbles. Just forced to be like Jinzo, more like Jinno. Next up is Jinzo number 7, but he should have been Jinzo number 1 because I don't want to play more than one of this ass.
Yeah, I think it's like a lot of it is really mysterious about Rada too. Like I don't even know what other hobbies he has outside of Yu-Gi-Oh! If he does. Like I feel like he would do really well on maybe like some kind of other video that he's passionate about, but
I think Rada was like too online for a long time. I remember when like my Discord was like way smaller. Like showed up one day and was like hanging out with everyone and talking. I was like, just got the impression they were like a gamer. Like they were like, yeah, I like to game or like whatever. I like to watch anime or whatever. And like recently they've been posting stuff like, I've been going out, you know, I'm getting an education and stuff. And I'm like, oh, good.
good.
Just become like a guy.
Yeah,
just a normal person.
Just a dude.
That's the goal of every Yu-Gi tuber.
I wonder if this guy's a dude. What do you think Asian Eyes White Dragon's up to now? I see him post on TikTok a lot. What is Slater doing, bro?
Are you guys ready? Doing it?
Oh my, he just made he just uploaded 2 videos. What
he uploads Yu-Gi-Oh videos literally
ago?
every single day to this day.
22 hours, 3 days, 5. It's like every other day, 12 days.
Yeah, dude.
Let's check out his main channel though. I'll never forget the day that he changed his main channel to a Diablo 4 channel, bro. Like I think it became Diablo at one point. And that's like this one. This used to be his Yu-Gi-Oh channel, and it hit 100K and he was so excited about it. And then he completely 180'd of it, and then he realized it was a mistake. And it's never fully recovered, bro. It's never fully recovered.
I hope he's doing well, but it's really hard to. The thing about Rada is like, for a long time he was like, this is the best of us, and I think that was true. And to this day, he still commands like a mythology in the community, right? But it is hard to overstate how much people liked Sladra. It's like,
oh yeah,
Asian Eyes White Dragon is the funniest, most interesting guy in the community by a lot. And that basically just flipped overnight. And everyone was just like, oh, he's actually super cringe. And he's like...
I think people grew up. I don't know. I feel like I was watching Asian Eyes when I was a kid. And
yeah, me too.
His humor like really was funny to me back then.
It was like he fit in perfectly between like Smosh videos, you know?
Mm-hmm. Who else are some people? Like there was a lot of people though that like felt like really like good characters back then. Like people that you wanted to follow.
Oh, we're talking about like Yu-Gi-Oh felt like it used to be really easy to do.
Yeah.
But I remember in like 2016, just YouTube in general was just swarming with these like dog shit, zero effort like channels. Like, speaking of people that people went back and were like, oh no, this was so fucking lame. You remember like Leafy is Here?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I
always was like, he had like 10 billion subs on like a generic ass channel with like a Tetra PFP where he did like
he would
commentary
do
over
CSGO. Yeah, bro.
Surfing.
Yeah.
I remember being like, anyone could do this.
Yeah.
What are we doing on YouTube right now?
Yeah,
Such a strange period to be on YouTube.
I don't know, man. It's never like truly ever felt like effort sometimes correlates to like the views. Like a lot of it is just luck. And like you look at somebody like Leafy, and I'm gonna admit, bro, I watched a lot of Leafy shit back in the day. And like sometimes I even catching myself.
I'm a little older than you.
I even like find myself like catching myself like watching videos now, and I'll be like enjoying it. And then I look at it again and I realize like it is very half-assed, or it's not really like even edited that much.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, like this probably took the person 20 minutes to do total. Or like I know something popular that I just don't get it. Is like and I can't even explain it either. But like there's a couple Hearthstone streamers that I watch. One of them, his name is Lieutenant Eddie, and he has, let me show you this, Lieutenant Eddie Raw. He has a channel where it's just like essentially 20 or 30 minute clips of him playing, but they're edited down with jump cuts from an AI. Like there's an AI that goes in and like cuts out dead space. And
oh Jesus Christ.
And you might think, wow, that's gonna be miserable. Bro, I catch myself watching these videos, and I watched the whole fucking 20 minutes. I'm like, oh my God, you mean to tell me that somebody didn't even have to sit down and do this, and it's a watchable piece of content. Some of the stuff also gets like crazy decent views, like 30,000 and stuff like that for next to no effort. I also don't understand this meta. This feels like a new thing too, where it's like having multiple channels, right? Like you have a main channel, a clip channel, and then like a raw channel and a VOD channel. Like it feels like everybody's doing that now, and like there's like a meta to having a sort of like lazy channel or a channel that's like less intensive on uploads like this. What do you think about that?
Oh, I've talked at length with like my YouTube partner manager on this, and with respect to the VOD channel, it's just like you can't put the VODs on your normal channel unless they're like YouTube Live, in which case it behooves you to have them on your normal channel. But like if you upload a VOD to your channel, it will kill you. It's just like the clips is like a weird position to be in because it's a type of content that I think just isn't good for YouTube. And I'm constantly warring with myself about just deleting the clips channel. But it's like YouTube is not built to accommodate that type of content. Like 30-second, almost not monetized, 16:9. It's just like frequently they will do well when it's like long form or something. I mean, this thing is paying the bills specifically because of the new cards ones that we do every like 5 or 6. But like, no, I don't think these are I don't know. I don't think these are the move. The VOD channel I think is the move.
I don't know. I feel like this is the move. Like I feel like this is a really good middle ground. Like having a place to I don't even know like the card reviews. Like is there a reason that you don't want to put them on your main channel? Like you don't feel like that would be like
No, I think I could.
even if you
I
cut
didn't
them
think
up
they'd
just
get
a little
views,
bit.
but they keep getting like 70K on this dog.
Well, yeah,
shit
they
ass
keep
channel.
like they keep fucking killing it on the clip channel. And I get like that's a place where you can place some of this more long form content or something that maybe doesn't feel like it belongs on the main channel. But like I remember people used to do single card reviews as daily content for YouTube. That's what Alex used to do and stuff like that. Whatever happened to that? Why don't people want to allocate that to the main channel anymore?
I think
And
it's the difference
Farfa,
between
doesn't Farfa do like meme review on his clip channel or something like that?
he does meme review on the clip channel.
Yeah, like why is it just
Oh
not
well,
better
for
to...
Farfa it's because meme review sucks.
Hey, watch that.
But like even like here's his clip channel, right? Let's just take a look. 8 days ago, 50,000 for masterduel memes, right?
Oh, I mean, meme review performs really well. I think it's one of those things where it's like, boy, I sure do hate giving these people air.
Like these is it really that bad? Are the memes really that terrible?
Oh man, the Farfa meme review I think has been doing really well because the Danny and Peeps meme review, I don't know if you've ever caught it. It's gotten to the point where like they are so disillusioned with like the concept of masterduel memes that like they'll begin and Peeps will be like, whoever made this meme needs to kill themselves. And Danny will be like, stop, you can't say that. He's like, fine, then I'll kill myself. And then they have to turn it off.
what's this?
Like,
That's
there's
literally
nothing you
that's,
can do.
that
They're so
literally
bad.
sounds like Peeps, bro. I saw the one stream they did like, we're not gonna do meme review. We're just gonna chill because we would rather do anything else. We would rather do anything else.
They're very bad. They're just awful.
Yeah, but like I've always thought like even these like light like because I'm sure like Vlad and stuff still does these cuts or something like that. Like I still feel like this
No, I
shit
think they're
stuff.
just raw.
What was that?
I think they're just raw.
Nah, let me check this out.
He just cuts like a 17-minute bit
episode
of the stream.
Meme review. In this episode,
I don't know. Like I feel like with just a couple extra cuts, like this could be main channel content, and it would get like triple the views, maybe. But
Maybe.
maybe I'm just silly.
I don't know. For a lot of Farfa's Clips channel thing, and this is something I should be doing. That's where he puts stuff that is also React
hey, watch
content.
this.
Which of course feels bad on the main channel to be like, here's another person's video that I'm watching.
Sure.
I don't know. No, it's crazy to think that like, well, I think the reason that the landscape just looks so different is so much of the way we make videos. And I don't know if you do this. I imagine you actually still have integrity or whatever. But so much of the way I make videos begins with being like, okay, algorithmically, what does YouTube want from me? And then like trying to think of a type of content that comports to those like boundaries. And back in the day, there was an algorithm, but the payoff for the algorithm wasn't money. Like you
Yeah.
couldn't monetize these things. And so as a result, people would just upload whatever.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I don't upload that often. I've uploaded 2 this week, which is like groundbreaking, earth-shattering, some would say. But like I've sort of tried to approach it with a different mentality, and I'm just trying to upload what I enjoy. And obviously that's not going to get numbers, but I'm trying to like sort of not undergo like a rebrand, but I'm trying to like restructure.
I could never do that shit.
Yeah, I'm trying to restructure what I put on my main channel and stuff like that. Because I think a lot of my stuff, like if I just solo into Yu-Gi-Oh, it's obviously like I have to be really passionate and into it. And it goes through waves, right? Like sometimes I'm just not super into it. And then that gets you into the point where you're thinking like you said, like, what does the algorithm want from me just so I can, make money? And then that sort of saps creativity and like takes the fun out of like working on a project. Like I've realized these last 2 things that I've edited on, I know it's not a lot, but I've had fun editing them, right? They've been projects that I was excited to tackle and try out. I haven't felt that way in a long time, but I'm sure you get a lot of projects that get you like amped up about that too. Like there's some things that you try and it doesn't work out. Like, has there been anything recently? Like, how do you feel about dual tainting? Is that something that like you feel is a success? Like you've been trying a lot of things and some things have been working.
No, I think pretty much everything I've done for the last year has been a failure, with the exception of exactly Pegasus Challenge, which was awesome. It was so good.
I think anything you would do. Danny's just a good co-host. You guys really vibe off together.
Pegasus was terrible. It was unwatchably bad. No, I was happy with dual tainting where it ended up. I think all of them, maybe one short, cracked 100K, which I was really impressed by. I keep trying to get something with Danny that will stick, but we can't get something not named Broke Boy that sticks, which is irritating.
Are you just do you think like that's coming up with a different concept that doesn't currently exist, or is there something that you guys have talked about maybe building off of?
What do you mean?
Like a lot of stuff that ends up doing really well is you take like an idea and you just twist it a little bit and redo it. I think that like less and less people are coming up with genuinely authentic different ways to approach like content. Like Alex has done a really fancy way of like getting people to help with like production stuff, like the arena and stuff. Like the fact that he has a team behind him that can help develop that technology is really cool, so he can explore that. But I feel like there's like limited amount of ways that you can try new content. Like there's like a lot of stuff has already been discovered or tried out. Like I feel like there's less options.
I think in the wake of, this is your fault, asshole, in the wake of sealed only, people thought like the way to innovate on content and like to put something out that's interesting is to invent a way to play Yu-Gi-Oh that no one has ever done before. And we had like sealed only followed by Prague as like proof positive that was the case. And I think what people are seeing now, that the top viewed series are like, I think fucking Saga and Team Sam's videos with C-Reacts, that there's like a personality element to it, that like actually it doesn't really matter like these stupid like little stipulations past a certain point, like it has a lot to do with the talent. And yeah, I think it's right. I think that like while I really liked Masochist and I like that it's still happening, it feels like kind of the capstone to a type of content innovation that just doesn't exist anymore. Like no one's hitting consistent 100Ks being like, I figured out a new way to play Master Duel. It just feels like it isn't happening anymore.
Yeah. Alex, he just has a good sense for creating ideas. Like the Masochist and stuff like that. He really just he gets it. I don't know, he gets it.
It is funny to be like, yeah, pretty much every innovation in playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Different has been one asshole with a sub box full of OSRS videos.
Yeah. I've even thought about like, I know something that would probably kill is I've thought about like Hearthstone. Raren is doing the progression series over there. I don't know if you've seen that. He's doing progression series with this guy Ecor. So he's taken like our model for that. And I've thought,
I don't even recognize the fucking Hearthstone people anymore.
oh man, some of the they're completely new. Some of them are really cool. There's people like Ali Straza that I'm sure you like.
I remember Ali Straza.
Yeah, she's around. Tice is still around. Pheno, like these guys still play and stuff.
God, Tice has got to be like 40.
Yeah, he's old now. Tice and Ali are actually under fire. They're ambassadors for like an NFT card game that just came out recently.
Oh, no. Wait, what's the name of the card game?
Parallel.
Oh my God, they sent us a thing.
Did they?
I think it was them. We got a thing for an NFT card game. We were like, and they were like, we have great talent behind us.
Yeah, they have Tyson Alley are on there now, and a lot of people aren't really happy about them with that. But
that's rough.
Yeah, but I thought like, what if you take Master Saga and port it to Hearthstone? Like I think like you have one decent personality behind there, and that's a guaranteed banger, right? Like you open a wild pack. Yeah. And then you open like one of the sets based on the wild pack you opened. I feel like that would be a banger concept. Yeah. But again, it's not like truly innovative, right? Like somebody's already come up with that exact concept.
Does it need to be like the?
Does it need to be? No, I don't think so. I think that's what a lot of YouTube is nowadays. Like I said, like taking something and then twisting it a little bit and making it your own.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Hearthstone streamers, did you see the Rainad stream the other day?
Yeah. He always goes live and he just talks about the bazaar. Isn't that what he does?
Well, okay, that's what I expected he would do. But I don't know if you saw the stream recently. He was like talking about UFOs and free energy devices and semen retention and like your pineal gland and shit.
Yo, what the fuck?
Oh, he was in on like all these fucking conspiracy theories, and he was like, yeah, I mean, energy-wise, your energy flows outward from your pineal gland, and that is usually calcified as a result of excessive ejaculation. And things like scrotal breathing and semen retention can really help with that. And he's just saying it, but he's also
breathing?
Like vibing.
What is scrotal
I've never
breathing?
heard of scrotal breathing?
No, what is that,
breathing
bro?
through the scrot.
Is that like wearing not too type
Yeah.
underwear or something like that? Like you're wearing like just
no, it's where you breathe
boxers?
in through your balls.
I haven't tried that before. You just have to like focus really, really hard or something like that.
Well,
is there like a genie lamp for your balls? Like, can your balls get clogged? Is there like
you did like theater in school, right?
Yeah,
I did.
I did, yeah.
Okay, did you ever do the like breathe into your diaphragm stuff?
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah, so it's just that, but you just aim lower. Yeah, no, I don't get it either. But I do. I love semen retention shit. That shit is always so funny to me. It's like, don't come. If you come, that's it.
Oh man.
When
are you getting back into Hearthstone? Are you gonna try that again anytime soon?
The unfortunate truth is I just don't have time to maintain 2 card games.
Nah, I get that. The game is so good right now, though, bro. Like,
I know. I keep hearing that, and I would love to get back in. I still play Battlegrounds pretty frequently.
Oh yeah.
But like that's not Hearthstone.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely isn't. I don't know, bro. One of these days, you want to do Hearthstone Saga with me? That'd be crazy. I'll pay for all your packs.
I would love
bro.
to.
If you actually want to, I want to do that like so bad. I'll pay for all your packs if you would want to try something. Like
now I really want to do it. Hey, you know what else we should do is Conquest.
Yeah, we should do that, bro. Let me get good at the game first. Christ. I remember like the other week we wanted to do it, and I was like, I'm gonna practice really hard, and I was logging and I was playing my first few games with super heavy. I was like, I'm gonna figure out this deck. And I was like, oh my God, I got to learn 3 more decks. Like, I am not ready for this, bro.
we got to play like crazy good stuff.
Yeah.
We can suck ass too. I don't know how much.
Yeah, I just got to I got a grip on the meta at least. I think have you tried, you've been really, really into Masterduel recently, actually.
Oh yeah.
With the
I'm playing like it's no big deal, but I've been fucking grinding. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, have you, the way I truly know I'm into it is when I catch myself playing off stream. Are you there yet?
Yeah,
Where like, no, you're not there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like when I was into Edison, I was logging crazy hours just off stream because I was having fun with it.
On Dueling Book?
On Dueling Book, bro. Yeah, I was in the trenches.
You could not pay me to fucking play Dueling Book.
I was in the trenches.
Oh my God. We I got in this circle of people who were pretty good, and we're like testing and stuff, and one person was like, you know what, fuck it. Usually it's against each other. And this person was like, you know what, fuck it. Today, I'm doing Dueling Book Ladder. And like, just hearing them describe Dueling Book Ladder as it was happening, I was like, I never playing this again.
You're like,
I will play for
glad.
Tengu. I was like constantly doing Tengu matches when
Yeah.
we were practicing for that.
What do
I
you
did
think of
play
the
a lot
What do you think of the new
Brooklyn.
list, man? Does it get you excited to play paper?
I don't know. It's actually, I mean, more than anything else, I'm just irritated that it came out like this close to Raleigh. It's like, I think it's really fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that like, it's irritating that like if it had nuked all Snake Eyes builds, I would be like, oh, like that sucks, but at least we'll all be on even footing. Like this benefits people who have like a consistent circle of good people. But like, you know, you are still gonna have to put in the time. But it didn't fuck up one of the two builds. So it's like, oh, so if you've just been if you just hit a 50-50 correctly 2 weeks ago, then you are going to have a huge advantage.
Because okay, like I didn't play a lot this format, but the pure Snake Eyes variant with like Link Karibo and Savage and Baron, is that like
So
no longer the way to go? Like that's out. Right?
Dunzo, you got to be playing Fire King, I think.
And that's
There's
not even
maybe
like bad,
a
though, right?
what?
And that's not even bad though, playing the Fire King variant, right?
No, it's arguable it's better than pure, but I think probably not the case that it's better. But like now it is, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm hoping the stuff like Protoss and Colossus doesn't end up being
Oh man,
a blight on the format, but I'm hoping like some other stuff crops up. Even though
Protoss is pretty scary.
Yeah, I'm like not confident that the format's gonna shake up as much as people think it will. I think it still is gonna.
No,
be...
I think it'll be pretty similar.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I think there is a way they could have made it like I talked about this in a members only video I did. I was like, what the video was called What Can Konami Actually Do About Snake Eye?
Mhm.
I was like, they're not gonna hit the Snake Eye cards, so what's the plan? And I was like, the way they can do this is to unhit a bunch of really powerful old cards. That enable decks that have like a resource loop that's better than Snake Eye. And but the ones that I wanted, aside from like the couple that they did like Orchest, I was like, easy move here is unlimit Charvara, unlimit Airlifter. And like maybe you get Rescue Ace and Unchained back. And if it's like Fire King, Snake Eye, Rescue Ace, Unchained, Hurley, like that's a fine format. Like I have no problem with that. I can't imagine not playing FK Snakes.
Yeah, I still actually you bring up Shavara. That's a card I forgot was limited. Yeah, that's kind of silly that the card is still
such a big
where it's
deal
at.
too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know.
Like, don't worry, there's that new Free Agent 6. It'll be just as good. It was not.
I think I said it like when I was talking about it. I think like the ban list coming out at this time is like cool for a spectator that's watching just the live stream for Raleigh. But if like you're a competitor, like you got to feel some type of way about having all your practice pretty much null and void after the list.
And well, I mean, I don't know if that's true. It feels like the practice is not null and void if you picked the right build.
A lot of stuff is going to carry over, but I feel like matchup knowledge and stuff like that, like some stuff will have to change. And I don't know. I think that's frustrating for people that maybe aren't equipped to do that.
Will it though? Because like the other decks, like Voiceless Voice and Branded and Lab and shit, nothing happened. They didn't change at all.
Is Voiceless Voice like actually good? I think you were defending them. I can't tell if that deck's like actually. What does that deck do, bro?
What a good question. The deck it is probably, I think it's the deck with the second most tops after like the Snake Eyes decks, but it's like it's a big deal. it's a big difference. It's okay. The resource loop is like low Prayers of the Voiceless Voice sets. Do you know Ritual Cage, the card?
Yeah, the field spell.
Yeah, no, it's like a continuous. But
then no, I'm not familiar.
They have like a tribal Ritual Cage that also is Rhoda. And so the low sets that, and then you get yourself to a position where you can summon Skull Knight, who while low is on the field is a negate. And so you usually end on one negate, have a Ritual Steeds style trap that can be set. And then usually they have like Saravius is on the field, and he has like an on-field solemn warning effect.
I think I've read Saravis's on-field effect like one time.
Yeah, no, I was like, oh, Saravis, yeah, the targeting protection.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
No, man.
I've never seen this guy actually on the field, so let me read him again.
Yeah.
I'll read it eventually. No, there we go. Okay,
Yeah, it is a little strange,
Cool.
and I think there is a pretty way higher ceiling on it than people are pretending. They're like, oh, it's like normal summon Alistair. You know, people who are good at this deck are way better than people who are mid at this deck. But the deck is basically just like it puts up a low number of interactions, like 3 or 4. But they're like really good points of interaction, and the guys they leave on field are super sticky, so they can do it again next turn. And that's like it. That's like what it does.
Does it, like,
It's getting a lot of.
Does it have like a whole
getting a
bunch
lot
of space to play like hand traps and stuff like that too?
Yeah, it's a small engine. You get to play hand traps. You get to be a super poly deck because it doesn't need the extra.
Oh, that's
and it's getting a lot of mileage out of the fact that people aren't playing main deck Bestials right now, because it would get fucking annihilated.
Well, we'll see with Raleigh, bro. We'll see with Raleigh. Are you playing in the main event? You still want to play in the main event?
Man, I am playing in the main event, but I really don't want to. I might just show up with Hero and be like, "We got the third malicious."
Yeah, there you go. I think I'm playing in the Time Wizard. I think. I don't know if I'm gonna do well. But
Oh no, duh.
but I'm gonna go give it a shot. Yeah.
It's fucked up.
From
I'm
New
like,
York,
oh, I
New
can't
York,
wait to
his
go to
favorite
Raleigh,
card
and
is
it's like
Effect Failure. Definitely
you,
not saying it.
Josh and Dan, and then like
Definitely not saying it.
Definitely not
Jordan
saying it.
and Danny and Leah
Yeah, you normally-
Asimov and
you used to
Alex
play
and Brittany.
Altergeist all the
And I'm
time,
like,
right?
oh shit, so who's in the main event? And Danny and Leah are like, we're playing one round of the main event and then dropping to say we did it. And I was like, and who else?
That's such
No
a Danny
one.
and Leah
I
move.
never-
That is such a Danny Leah move, bro.
Those two are so, god damn it, they're so
They're so-
stinking cute.
Yeah, I
hate
was
it.
literally about to say that, bro. What a bunch of cuters.
So this is the thing, is like they're like, oh, we're gonna play one round and then we're gonna dip and we'll go to the museum
movies
or
or
something,
something
right?
like
And then
that,
we'll go to
yeah.
the movie. And I'm like, can you just fucking stay in? So after 4 rounds I can be like, how is everyone? And we can all go bad.
Yeah, and then you could all just complain together about it, bro.
I want to commiserate.
Yeah, no, I know a lot of the pals are missing it this year. I heard it was like really expensive to get out there. Anyways, you're driving, aren't you? Like,
I'm driving. Yeah, it's like a 6-hour drive.
yeah.
But it's it's tax season, and I bought Snake Eyes, so I have no fucking money. So
Yeah, tax man, bro. No,
no,
but,
I also for school, this is so annoying. You know how you don't actually have to pay for school because you took out a loan.
yeah, sure.
So I took a couple semesters off during COVID to work on the channel, and it got rid of my aid reward. I was like, whoa, I had like an aid reward because I was smart. And they were like, yeah, but that reward was specifically for if you graduated in 2021, and now you won't be doing so. So we're taking it all away. And so now I have to pay sticker at point of registration.
Oh my god.
So every semester I'm just out of money, like capital O.
Yeah, man. I don't want to sound too stupid. Like I don't completely know what's going on with my like loans and stuff like that. But I took out student loans, and apparently something's going on right now that if you make under a certain amount, you just don't put any money up. Like, you don't have to pay off any of the loans. And if over a course of like 10 years, if I don't fully pay off the loans, but I pay the minimums of like what they ask, the rest just disappears. It just dissipates.
Yeah.
And
Well, I'm not.
yeah, I'm not like I don't want to say completely totally understand it, but that's what my mommy told me, and I said, okay, mom, I will try to not be a billionaire, but so I have to pay these off. But yeah, like apparently I don't have to pay I don't have to pay a whole lot towards my loans or anything like that. Is it the same situation for you or not?
I can't give anyone financial advice. But what you're describing is an IDR loan. It's an income-driven repayment plan.
Mm-hmm.
That charges you a certain amount based on what your annual income is. And if it's low enough, which it probably is, then yeah, they adjust your payments relative to your income, with the downside that if you start making money during that period, you will be on the fucking hook.
Yeah.
And then I think it's 20 years. But I guess it's been 10 years, right? So maybe.
Yeah, I've heard it. I've heard like 10. That's what I've heard.
But no, that's what I had. And then when you get back in school, I removed the income-driven repayment portion because you can just defer while you're in school. So
Yeah, I remember
I ain't paying shit.
I remember in college, like senior year or something like that, I wasn't doing good at all with my grades and stuff. I was just trying to pass. And my mom had to sit me down one time because I was like on the edge of losing, not scholarship. What's the word that you used before?
Like an aid award or something.
Yeah, like an aid award. Like I had some kind of aid or something like that if I were to maintain like a certain grade point average up until graduation. And I was like really, really close to like losing that aid, and my mom made it like a really big deal not to. I think I barely graduated with like a 3.0 or something like that.
I mean, that's
terrible.
fine.
Yeah, man, it was hell though, bro. My parents made me feel like the biggest fucking moron at all times. Like I was the only person failing. Like.
Well, what I mean, you went to like a normal school, right?
Yeah, I went to Temple, which is a big
this is
school in Philly.
not to say nothing, but at the big schools, that stuff is really common. People always are like, oh, at like the elite universities, everyone's got like a 3.5. Yeah, because they inflate the fuck out of the grades.
Mhm.
You know, I went to a real nice school, and I can tell you right now, I got a lot of B minuses that would have been Fs at like a real school, and it's just ugh. The whole thing is like a whole fucking bag of worms because no child can pay for the amount that school is. So these teachers, they don't want to give their kids shitty grades and lose them their aid awards.
Yeah.
Like I know you worked hard to ensure your situation didn't come to pass, but I bet if you had talked to your teacher and been like, listen, like I'm trying, but like there's an aid award involved, they would have just given it to you.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I ever put in the opportunity to talk to professors and stuff like that. Because like since it was a big school, I felt like just a number, right? Like if I go to this person,
Yeah.
like they're gonna not know the fuck I am nor care. I don't know. I made a lot of excuses like that. I remember in high school, I had a particular hard time with like accepting my grades and stuff like that. My parents were very, very strict on wanting me to do like extremely well in high school, and so like I remember I was doing very poorly in calculus. I had taken like the more difficult math option because they wanted me to. And I had taken this calculus and it wasn't clicking with me. Math has never been good with me. And so I wasn't doing great. And like they were always like threatening to like punish me and shit like that if I couldn't bring up my grade. And it didn't matter how hard I tried to like tell them like I just don't understand this. I would get tutoring and stuff like that. In my free time I would go to like down the street. We had one of my friend's parents was a math teacher, and I would go all the time to her house so she could teach me this shit, and I still was not passing. And my parents really made me feel like a fucking moron. Like, I don't know. Did you ever feel like that kind of pressure when you were doing in school? Were you always just like good at school? Like I think of my sister, my one sister was
literally
just
also
good
in
at school.
calculus.
Yeah, I just like one of my sisters, like I'm a triplet. One of my sisters is just like she was, I would say, good at school. She was good at just like memorizing information or like really good at study habits and stuff like that and reflecting that on like exams and stuff. But like now she's a nurse and she hates her job now and everything. Not that that's relevant, but like I could never learn that way. That was just not the way I was able to absorb information.
No, I had a very similar experience. Calculus was very humbling for me because unfortunately I really like calculus, but I am quite like it's hard as fuck. And I remember I was generally good at school until like high school when like basically it just caught up with me that like no, if you take only the hard people classes in high school, you're cooked. Like you got to take some that are just gimmies.
Mm-hmm.
And I took calculus and I was loving it, but I was getting like a really bad grade in it. And I remember one day my teacher explained something and it just bounced off me. And I raised my hand and I was like, I'm sorry, I'm just not really grasping it. Could you like, explain it? And she's like, what do you mean? Like, yeah, could you just like, for some reason, I'm not grasping it. And she's like, well, I just explained it. And I'm like, right, I understand. I wasn't able to get it. Like, could you help me out here? And she was like, would you like, what do you want me to do? Like, I would only be able to explain it again. And I was like, maybe I'm just not cut out for this.
Yeah.
And I ended up finishing out the semester and I got like some mid grade, but I remember being like, man, shit, this stuff is hard.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that there's an expectation, especially if you do well in school early, that like you will just do well in school forever. And it can be really destabilizing, I guess, to be kind of faced with like, no, there's like some classes that are out of your reach, and it makes you feel like a fucking moron because you're like, this was so easy earlier. Why isn't
Yeah.
it easy now? It's
Yeah.
like,
Oh my
well,
god.
because you were learning 2 plus 2,
Yeah,
and
I
like
remember.
now you're learning stuff that like people went hundreds of years without figuring out. You
Yeah, I
know?
remember in like middle school, like things just came really easy to me. I don't know, like the stuff we were learning at the time at least. And I remember it was me and this one other student. I would get pulled out of like lunch or something to go to like these gifted classes or these little gifted meets, and they had like students that were, I guess, like more intelligent or something, and they would have you do like these stupid little puzzles and shit. And I just remember I was invited along with this other girl that was doing really well. She was known as like a brainiac or something like that. And I remember sitting down and doing this stuff and like being like, I don't belong here. like I don't feel like as smart as these other kids or anything like that. Damn.
Yeah. I don't know. I
think where some of these kids are that are like really smart in school, I think of like where they are today. Like I think of this one girl, her name was Haley. And like, do you remember
Haley.
Accelerated Reader? Did you have Accelerated AR Reader in your school?
we had something analogous. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so we had AR Reader, and she was all throughout middle school and high school. She was the #1 point leader for Accelerated Reader. This chick loved books. She would just fucking read. And like, she was a brainiac, the smartest kid in school. I have no idea what she's doing nowadays. I'd love to find that. Let me see if I can find it on my other screen. I think about it. Do you have anybody that you remember from like high school or something, like your student council president or something like that?
Yes.
Ours was a fucking dumbass. I think he's probably in jail now.
My guy was like, oh God, there was this one guy, he was in, so I had a tight group of friends and we were all very smart. And randomly we met this other guy, like my junior year, who was insanely smart. And I think he had like transferred from like the rich people school. And my friends were like immediately smitten with him. And he and I just didn't really get along. We didn't hate each other, but it was just like, we didn't really vibe, you know, it happens. And he was always being kind of weird and snide to me. Like, there was one scenario where there was like we were supposed to read a book over the Christmas break for some English class, and I just hadn't. I just like had forgotten this assignment existed. And so they're just asking us stuff, and I'm speaking as minimally as possible, like trying to bullshit my way through it. And I'm killing it. Like, very easy to bullshit my way through this. And he kept like getting on my ass, and he was like, could you expand on that? Like, what can you? And I was like, what do you want me to say, dude? Like, I'm not gonna say to your face I didn't read it. Like, what do you want? But he was trying to like, it was like he was trying to like emasculate me. And it wasn't until like really late in the semester I was like, this guy who was like clearly smarter than me felt like really threatened by anyone who was like remotely as smart as him. So then it was just a really weird bit of time. And so after high school, I remember being like, oh, okay, you know, I'll never see this guy again. And some of my friends kept in touch with him, and I remember trying to figure out what he did afterwards. And this kid, he was very wealthy. His parents had like connections at the New York Times. And I remember a couple of years out of college, he was writing like part of the NYT crossword. And I was like, man, if that isn't just the perfect job for this guy. He's just like sitting around doing puzzles all day. That is just wonderful.
Living the dream.
Yeah. He also was trying to tell us, one time we all met up with him. He was trying to tell us, like, he went to like Harvard, and like he was trying to tell us about like the weird naked parties he went to at Harvard, where like they would show up naked just to like prove that they could like be naked around each other.
Yes, a fellow sex haver.
No, but it wasn't about sex. It was about like bearing your truth. And I remember thinking about that. This is a thing I think about all the time with like that type of intellectual person. I remember hearing that and being like, that is so fucking stupid. There are so many things like the intellectual elite do to like reinforce that they are very smart and in control of themselves. But like, I'm off on a tangent, but there's so many things that this type of person does that's clearly just like dumb as hell, and you just need another normal person to be like, dude, that's fucking stupid. And it's like this spell is immediately broken.
Well,
It's
yeah,
like, oh, right. Of
but see, the
course.
problem
And a
is
lot
with
of
those people is they surround themselves with other people
exactly,
that do that
yeah.
exact same shit, right? So like,
But it's the same thing as like the gifted type thing where they have you like do puzzles and stuff. It's just like you really need someone normal to just be like, hey man, what is this doing exactly?
yeah, yeah, right.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, good point, actually.
You know, why am I naked, bro? I
And I'm not even getting pussy. What's the problem? I don't know. I think that there's it's just so irritating. I think that there's a type of person, and I've been this person in my life, that like is good, like that likes school, likes being good at school, and it is just irritating because I think a lot of people like you end up kind of comparing themselves to people whose entire personality is like being the best there is at school.
Mhm.
And um I think these people are freaks. And you shouldn't be using them as a measuring stick.
It was really difficult for me. I remember in school because I had two sisters in my same grade. My parents used that to compare us. Really, really,
Oh
is
no.
what it was.
Yeah.
It was always, and I never understood it until later on in life. But like my one sister is very intelligent. Like I said, she's good at school. And then there was me, who was also my parents assumed was good at school. And then there was my other sister, Carly, and she was quote bad at school. She was like she had to take speech classes as a kid and everything like that, and she would always take like the lower standardized like courses and stuff like that. Like English, you could take 3 different tiers, and my one sister and I, we were in the top tier, but like she would have to take like the lower one because it didn't really matter in the end. But like when it would come to grades and stuff like that, my parents would always use us as like comparison, right? Like if your sister's doing this good, just ask help for her, right? Just ask for help. Why the
Oh
fuck aren't you
no.
doing as good as her? And then I would say like my other sister, when she's getting B's and C's, and you know, not that she wasn't trying, but she just wasn't as good as it. I would always say like, well, what the fuck about her? And my parents, they wouldn't listen to it. They wouldn't listen to it. And it was always just like I was a direct comparison of my sister, and if I wasn't excelling at the same level as she was, I was failing. And that's constantly how I went through school. Even stupid stuff, bro. Like I couldn't get away with getting in trouble at school, even for like little things. Like we had like little like demerit slips. They're called the gold slips. If you did something like wrong, or like if you talked in the halls or something, I don't know, you did something stupid, you would get a gold slip. Not that it would matter if you accumulated 3 of them, you got detention, but like you would have to get it signed by your parents and then bring it back. But like I would get in trouble every now and again, and I couldn't keep that shit to myself. Like, why? Like, it would get back to my parents because my sisters would hear, bro. And then I never could get away with anything. It was tough, bro.
No, I don't know. This is something that obviously I've been thinking a lot about as like I prepare to have a child, but I feel like ugh, my brother was like this, and like I imagine just having a bunch of siblings, you experience this as well. But God, having more than one child really does make one of the kids feel like there's like a meter stick, like at all times. And it's just not healthy. That's like, people are good at different things. I remember my brother like felt like he couldn't do anything because like I did like I did like X, Y, and Z when I was in school, and he felt like he had to do those things because my parents were like, "Oh, to be a good student, you have to do X, Y, and Z," and that's not fair to him, you know. So I don't know. Kids are good at different stuff, and it's it's rough when you encounter someone who's good at the school.
How do you think are you gonna let your kid go through public school? Are you gonna
Oh
put him
yeah,
through private school?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Everyone I know who went to private school turned out all fucked up and weird. No, it's
I think it's an important character development to go to public school. I think you just
I
learn
agree.
a lot about
100%.
how to interact with kids. Like I think that's like
I went to public school. I think, and I think that like I think it's important for kids to have like a diverse array of perspectives. And if you go to like a rich people school, you're going to meet a lot of rich people.
Yeah.
And like a lot of kids, especially that fucking kid who ended up writing for the New York Times, uh, they go to the rich people school and then they come out and they just literally do not know how to interact with poors.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, man,
Yeah.
you're going to have to figure it out. No, I'm a big public school fan. Jillian went to one too. The school she went to had a juggalo problem.
Oh, really?
Um,
Wow.
Are you familiar with the juggalos? Are you
familiar.
down with the clown gate?
Clearly, bro.
Oh, dude. Oh, okay. I'll do the juggalo thing real quick. Jillian, her school had her area where she lived had a huge juggalo problem, and I remember when I was trying to tell her about where I grew up in Topeka, had like the Crips were huge.
Mhm.
There was like a decent sized amount of Bloods, but there were like a ton of Crips, and so I was trying to explain to her. I was like, yeah, it's like this gang that like they're big in the area. And she was like, oh, we had a gang, the Juggalos, and I was like, okay, yeah, but like that's not like a gang, right?
He said,
You're
wait,
talking
wait,
about
wait.
like fans of a musical act, And she's like, oh, no, it's not like that. Apparently, it is not like that because what had happened was there was such a big Juggalo presence uh at her school that the Juggalos constituted like enough people that they were a problem. And while she was in school, there was a big issue because the Juggalos there was a guy, this was like in the early aughts, so it kind of sets the stage here. There was a guy who was gay, and the Juggalos had decided that this was so bad that they invited him on a fake date. They catfished him. And then they dragged him out to the woods. She lived by the woods. They dragged him out to the woods and they beat him to death with hammers.
Oh my fucking god.
And then they chopped him up. And like she was explaining this to me and I was like, Juggalos? Like the insane clown posse, same Juggalos? She's like, yup. And this was a big enough deal that there was like a Juggalo like there was a Juggalo like emergency meeting about it, and like some of the Juggalos were on the side and some weren't, and they were like, no one snitch, and some of them were like, I don't know, I don't feel safe in the Juggalo community anymore, and all these students were just in the center of this.
The Juggalo community imploded, bro. I can't believe it.
It was crazy. I was like, again, there's Juggalos, right? You're talking about.
I think one thing that needs to be allowed to happen at schools too. Sorry, not to completely detract from it. Go ahead. As I think kids need to be allowed to be kids, bro. Like,
yes.
I feel like kids are like expected to grow up too early, or like, you know what? If kids want to go chop up somebody in the woods and bury them, that should be a kid thing you could do.
God forbid men do anything.
God forbid men do anything.
But it was women too. They were the women and the children. They were all chopping them up.
No, I like seriously. I think kids like should be able to be kids. I remember I was a weird fucking kid all throughout like middle school, high school, and I got made fun of that for stuff like that. But I don't know. Like I feel like kids are like too scared to be picked on and stuff like that for things that are like completely normal, like to be doing at their age. Like I think TikTok has ruined a lot. We talked about it a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a weird position to be in because of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the things that really scares me is when I think back to a lot of people talk about how like, oh, when I was a kid I had a Nazi phase. You ever hear anyone say that?
Not a Nazi phase, but
people love telling other people that. It's like, oh, I used to have a Nazi phase. I never had like a Nazi phase, but like there were certainly some times when I thought some shit that was not all right?
Oh,
'Cause I was like a child. And it feels really bad because of places like TikTok, and it's not just like TikTok, it's also like fucking Facebook. You just have an avenue to get your opinions heard from like age 10 on, and available to everyone. And you have a permanent record of those living everywhere. I think a lot about, I may have told you this already. I think a lot about, I think a lot about this guy because I see a lot of me in him, but, are you familiar with the Twitter account? I think it's like, Chipple Dipple is the person's name.
no. Let me look this up. Is this
So
still a current account?
you don't have to look it up. But the guy was like got some amount of online fame just really early out of nowhere because he made a video that was similar to, if you're familiar with Pilot Red Sun's Garfield video, right?
Mm-hmm.
He made a video that was like kind of similar and funny. And it got him a shitload of eyes on him at a really formative time in his life. The reason I remember this guy, suspended now, is because he was a Kansas debater, like I was.
Mm-hmm.
Like he did like debate and forensics and shit. And basically his brain got cooked by virtue of being available and visible to everyone at a time when it, it was like at a time when he hadn't developed what he thought or felt. And now, whenever like anyone disagrees with him, they can point to like a post he made a couple of years ago where he said something like and abhorrent, but it's like he was literally like 16.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I don't know. I think that the only way out of this is going to be like they are going to have to legislate you can't be on social media till you're like some certain age. You can't it's going to be an evolving conversation because like you can't ban someone from like a kid from the internet. A lot of these kids, that's how like they have support or get help or something, but like you also can't create this permanent record for everyone who is not done cooking yet.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've been saying this like recently as opposed for like stuff I think
I'm
it's
saying
still
Kansas is so white. The cities in Kansas are not white. Topeka's like 50% Latino. My high school was like, I mean, there were white people, but it was like, it was 50-50. I don't know. It was public school, man.
But yeah, like back to what you were saying though. I've been saying like people say you can meet the person that you fall in love with and get married to them in like a year, and that's like an okay thing to do, right? Like that's fine. You can meet the person you love within a short amount of time. But like some people just don't think that people are capable of changing in half a decade, which I think is crazy. Like people pull up like receipts, like old messages or old things that people tweet, and it's like what, are people not capable of changing a decade later after they tweeted something like that? Do you still think they think the exact same way they did like many years ago? I don't know. I don't understand how some people think people are beyond change.
Yeah, I don't know. I tend to kind of I don't know. I like to project being this like big what's it called? Here are my positions, epic get canceled kind of guy, but like I think that people are really, really unable to be like people kind of evolve as individuals. And I think when people talk about this, they talk about like, well, maybe in a decade they can apologize for their terrible positions now. But it's like, no, I think people just evolve in general. You know, even if you agree with them now, you know, they're a different person, you know, in half a decade. Like I know I don't agree with the stuff that I felt in 2016 or even 2020. And it's just like just the permanence of being online. I mean, really feels like you aren't afforded that luxury anymore. I mean, look
Yeah.
at how many people like Leafy had to lock in their permanent personality when they were like in high school or middle school.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
I mean, we've shared space with like Chaotic Meatball, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is always shocking to me seeing him like learn stuff in real time because he like locked in his job and permanent interest like his freshman year of high school.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
like, yeah, man. I mean, some of these, you know, who actually hit me up was Blade Yu-Gi-Oh.
No way. How's he
remember
doing?
him?
Yeah. Oh my God. Do
Well,
I remember him? Love that kid.
So Blade Yu-Gi-Oh, for those of you in chat, he used to make videos on YouTube, and they were good. They were good videos.
They were.
But
they were.
if you go back
DZ.
and watch his old stuff, they were made before he hit puberty, and like then he hit puberty. And so I remember he was going to college at a time when he had like 25K subs, and he sent me something. He was like, "Hey, I just want to know, like, do you think I should keep doing these while I was in college?" And I'm like, "Not at all." And the short of it is like he has just become now like a well-adjusted normal guy who's like finding himself and stuff. And I'm like, thank God he was able to do that free from the hyper scrutinization of online. And thank God he didn't feel like he had to lock in an interest he had when he was 12 and make that his job permanently.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. No, funny you bring that name up. I hadn't thought about Blade in a long time. No, this guy used to be around all the time. I met him
He
at an event.
commented a bunch of the early Quarantine series.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What a kid. Nice.
Yeah.
All right, big guy.
Yeah, it's like 1:30. We just
sorry that I ended up keeping you for a bit there. I just kind of coming up with questions.
No, it's fine. I'm doing shit. You know, I was just gonna go to bed anyway.
Yeah, I think
you
boot up the Elder Scrolls, maybe play some more Oblivion.
Yeah, you gotta play.
It's been so good, bro. Let me tell you, finding a single player game to just relax with, I'm finally smiling while playing a game, bro. Playing a game.
Yeah, who was it I was talking to? I was talking to Alex. He was like, "Have you caught any of the Elder Scrolls streams?" And I was like, "No." I guess I caught part of the one where you were making him blue.
Yeah.
And he was like, it just looks good to see Gage happy.
Let me tell you.
He's having a good time playing a video game.
I probably don't have to explain it to you, but like Master Duel, like I play a couple games and I just get drained by it.
It takes a lot out of you.
I'm like, oh my god, bro. Like, especially if I lose like a really shitty game or something like that, I'm drained. But then like, yeah. I started playing Oblivion and I play for like 2-3 hours at night. Just like nobody's even got to be watching, bro. I'm finding time to have fun with games again. And it's been like a really long time since I did that. Like I said, like I know I'm really enjoying something when I want to play it off stream, right? Like Yu-Gi-Oh, like Dueling Book, when I willingly would play that off stream. That's because I was just like really, really into it. And like not that like I stream the stuff that I don't like. I obviously stream what I enjoy. That's like part of it. That's part of like why the job is cool. But it definitely it's like it's so much easier when you're having fun, right?
Oh yeah. The you know, it's weird how video games have developed. It feels like so many video games have the same gameplay loop where you load into like a 5 to 20 minute game against another human, and like sometimes you feel like fucking shit after it because it's just so taxing. Man, I really miss like 20-hour curated games like fucking Elder Scrolls or like just single player shit.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of games are made with like streaming in mind. Like, oh, this is like they're gonna play this for 1 or 2 streams and then you never hear it again. On to the next one, right?
That shit is so I don't know how to feel about this. At this point, I get a lot of emails to the business email that are like, "Hey, we developed a new game specifically for streaming," and I was like, "That's evil." Like, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, like it's a lot of gimmick games. Like I like to think about, like there's like I think of things like the password game, or I think of the things like there's this game where it was like this little clippy guy would like take control of your computer and it'd be sort of dark or something like that. And I think of all these games and I look at them and I'm like, I would never, if I didn't have an audience, I would never play this game. I would never be interested in anything like this. And I feel like a lot of games are like being made specifically for, oh, it's fun for you and your audience. Where it's like sometimes you just want to play a game that's fun for you, right? Like
direct to streamer games. Games specifically designed to be in a fucking cut by AI, moist critical upload VOD on someone else's channel.
Yeah. All right, bro. I actually got to take a pee really bad too. Yeah. So, all right, man. I'll talk to you later, dude. Okay.
Bye.
See ya. What a nice guy, man. I like talking to him. I hope you guys didn't mind that. I know it's not like actual content or doing anything crazy, but I love talking to that guy. He's just fun to talk to. Guys,